Good afternoon. I'm so excited to be here today to talk about why the Youth Wellness Hubs is such an important step forward for young people in our province. Last summer, I had the opportunity, as part of a team of youth and family facilitators, to travel across Ontario and host a number of consultations with young people and their families about their experiences accessing mental health services. What we encountered in those sessions was an incredible group of hopeful, passionate advocates with stories that were just as heartbreaking as they were brave. They shared with us stories about services that had failed them and services that had saved them. Stories about the barriers they faced in trying to navigate a system that was siloed, and stories of those organizations and individuals who helped them get through it all. Despite the diversity of backgrounds, geographies, and experiences that these young people carried, they shared one commonality. They wanted to contribute to building a better system that works not just for themselves, but for their siblings, friends, peers, children, and all young people across Ontario. The individuals who joined us last summer envisioned a system that would remove those systemic barriers to access, bring a range of relevant services together in one place, and work with communities to best serve Ontario's young people. In doing so, they told us exactly what Youth Wellness Hubs Ontario should look like. From the beginning, this initiative has taken the stories of those young people to heart. Their voices have been heard and represented throughout the process. And they have been joined by the voices of many other young advocates who have contributed to Youth Wellness Hubs Ontario. Earlier this year, I was part of the facilitation team that worked with the Youth and Family Review panel to read and discuss the applications of potential Youth Wellness Hub sites. These conversations were insightful, passionate, and meticulous. Those teams of youth and families were diverse in experience, background, and identity. And what each of them brought to the table changed that conversation for the better. Those voices carried forward as members of the panels acted as representatives to the larger selection panel and participated in the interview stage. These individuals shaped this process. What I can tell you as a young person who's been a part of this project at many levels is that youth voice has permeated the Youth Wellness Hubs initiative. Young people have been championed by the facilitators who led those focus groups, the youth and family panels that made their voices heard throughout the selections process, and the leadership who oversaw this entire initiative. From beginning to end, these Youth Wellness Hubs have been built not only for, but with young people and their families. Today's announcement doesn't mark the end of that work. This initiative depends on the continued engagement with young people and their families for its continued success. Here's why the role that young people have played in this project so far and moving forward is so important. Those young people who lent their voice to informing, designing, and selecting the Youth Wellness Hubs will be the same young people that use those hubs. We are the youth and families who know the system best because we have lived through the system. No one knows what young people need better than young people themselves. We know what works, what doesn't work, what can be made better. We will be the ones to benefit from these sites and the services that they offer, and we will be the ones to inform how these hubs grow to better support communities across Ontario. Hopefully, those young people who share their stories with us and their visions will see throughout this process that their negative experiences with a fractured system have contributed to a change for the better. A change that reaches beyond themselves, their loved ones, and their immediate community. Hopefully, they will know that the system not only heard them, but truly listened to what they had to say. As a mental health advocate and a young person, today's announcement has made me incredibly hopeful for the future of youth mental health in our province. Thank you.